Gangs and sometimes the violence that goes with them are common in many large cities, and Tulsa is no exception. We wanted to understand more about why we have gangs and how they impact our city.
Nobody's, putting their hand, sticking their hand out here to, to help out.
2 News Oklahoma senior reporter Sharon Phillips spoke exclusively with a man who says he's a member of a gang here in Tulsa. And tonight, she introduces us to him and takes a deeper look at what Tulsa police are doing to address gangs in our city.
We met Dwayne Jackson, who goes by DJ near 61st and Peoria.
No, I'm not armed or anything like that.
He hesitantly agreed to talk to us about life in a Tulsa gang and admits he got involved at a very young age.
What can we call them? Obstacles or just the things that we go through, just being poor than the other communities. You get what I'm saying? Having drugs.
Lack of resources, children with absent fathers, hungry families, and welfare are just a few of the reasons he gives as to why someone might be joining a gang.
It's a lot of starving families around here. It's a lot of projects, welfare, food stamps,
DJ says being in a gang gives him power and confidence to take on oppression.
The purpose of my gang is actually, economic rebirth.
You feel less than? You feel like?
I don't feel like that, but that's how we're made to feel. Yeah, like we're below the surface.
To get a handle on gangs and gang crime, Tulsa police say they have dedicated multiple units within the department. The Strategic Intervention Unit, formerly the Gang Unit, is responsible for investigating gang-related crime. They try to be proactive by patrolling in areas of Tulsa with the most gang-related violence. According to Tulsa police, the areas of 61st and Peoria and 56th Street North and Hartford Avenue have the most firearm-related crimes and violent crime.
We got numerous calls from citizens at 61st and Peoria that there were at least 50 to 100 rounds of shots fired in that area, all along one street. There were cars that were hit. There were actually a couple houses with kids and adults in those houses at the time. Thankfully, none of them were hit.
However, it doesn't include at least 12,000 calls that haven't been entered into the city system due to a ransomware attack in May of 2021. Some other areas with high crime numbers include Admiral and Hudson Avenue, Pine and Peoria, Pine and Delaware, Pine and MLK Boulevard, and 31st and Memorial.
Most of the time it's going to be just disrespecting one gang, or if they see each other on the street, if anybody says any words or anything disrespectful. These days, kids and adults, they just resort to immediately pulling out a gun and firing.
Brown says a lot of times they don't shoot their intended target, but people who are caught in the middle.
Area gangs will often tag their territory with graffiti. You can see this one stands for EBK, which means everybody killed. Basically what that means is that they don't care who they shoot or who gets killed. And if you take a look right over here, this tag stands for Neighborhood Crips.
Tulsa's largest gangs consist of Hoover Crips, Bloods, Neighborhood Crips, and Sereno 13. Brown says the Crips and Bloods are typically made up of black members, while Sereno 13 is Hispanic. White supremacist gangs are made up of the Universal Aryan Brotherhood and the Irish Mob.
Gangs are here to make money, to stay in power, so they're going to rob other gangs. They're going to try and steal their firearms, their money, their dope, to further their empire.
Police say gangs in Tulsa predominantly commit property crimes as well as fraud and forgery to further their meth habits.
It's power within our people. We have to stick together.
While police say they use programs like Midnight Basketball, Shop with a Cop, and others to build relationships and steer kids in a positive direction, DJ has a very different perspective.
It's never nothing about, helping or building or bringing back. You know what I mean? It's only crash, lock them up. You know what I mean? Kill them if we can kill them.
As police work to curtail gang violence in Tulsa, DJ says he will continue to survive in whatever way necessary.
The world knows we lack resources. So, as we gain resources and we gain that power and we gain the economic power and things like that, it'll definitely be a rebirth.
Sharon Phillips, 2 News Oklahoma.
The Strategic Intervention Unit, along with the Crime Gun Unit, recover about 400 guns a year. And the officers tell 2 News they believe those guns seized every year reduce violent crime and prevent many unnecessary deaths. Also, in January of this year, Tulsa police joined up with Crime Stoppers and property managers to launch an Alert Neighbors program in another effort to stop crime in the area.